All right, everybody. What is going on? Good late afternoon, getting into the early evening here. We've got a football game on right now, a preseason game, and we've got a little bit to talk about from the Seattle Seahawks, although I will tell you right now, not a lot, because today was a very chill day, understandably so, but today was very quiet. For one, they only did a walkthrough. For another, it was only about 55 minutes. For another, it was indoors. So you put those three things together and you're not really going to learn a heck of a lot. So straight up, I don't really have anything from the practice field in terms of like, oh, this player did this player did that. But let's talk about what there is to talk about from the updates today, because I've got some good news and I got some bad news. This video is sponsored by Prize Picks. So the good news is in this tweet right here, Nick Emmanwori. A lot of people were a little bit worried about Nick Emmanwori, and then a few days ago, that worry got expanded significantly when he was on Hard Knocks riding one of those little mobility scooters around to keep his foot elevated. And people looked at that and went, "Oh, that doesn't look like a guy who's going to be ready for football in a month here." And remember, we are still a month away from a real NFL Seahawks game. But in this video right here, and you can't see his number immediately, but this guy right here on the right that's coming, left on the video, you can kind of see that yeah, there's the number 3. Yeah, that's Nick Emmanwori. And you will notice there's no mobility scooter. There's no giant cast. There's no crutches. He's just walking around. So looks pretty good to me. Looks like a pretty good update to me. I am 100% on board with that right there. Very excited to see him walking around without any help, without any aids. And I think that what this highlights is the fact that Hard Knocks episodes release sometime, a pretty significant amount of time after the film that was taken is taken. So when we saw Emmanwori on the mobility scooter, it was probably at least a week and a half ago, maybe even a little bit more. So this is where he is right now. And this to me does look like a guy who has a real chance to be ready for week 1. So I do not think that we have anything to be alarmed about right now with him. To me, this looks like a guy who is progressing, and that's all you can ask for. So that's the good news. Nick Emmanwori looks fine. And I can't guarantee anything, but I would rest easy for the moment. For whatever it's worth, another kind of sort of bit of good news was, I think it was Corbin, apropos of nothing really. He was just kind of giving his own guess based on the information he has. He thought that Charbonnet would be ready by about week 5. So if that is the case, if that holds up, then we're getting him back sooner than I thought we would back when the injury first was announced. So I would call that good news as well. But now let's get to a little bit of bad news. So the chain of events here is pretty clear. First, we got this notification earlier today. The Seahawks signed Brock Lampy, a fullback, a second-year fullback, but he did not play last season. He was on the Patriots for a little bit and never got on the field. I believe he's from Northern Illinois, which is where our current running back coach, the guy who made all the memes on the first episode of Hard Knocks, coached last year. So I guess that's how he got in. But what does this mean? All right, guys, let's take a quick break here to talk a little bit about Prize Picks, currently the #1 sports pick app in America. The app is very easy to use. Check it out to my left here. You can do player picks, where you just pick more or less on a few player stats and lock in your lineup. Or you can pick teams, where you pick winners, spread, or total on any game or fight. The app is available in most states, including California, Texas, and Florida. Right now, they have a great offer. You can play your first $5 lineup and get $150 in lineups if you win. All you have to do is use code HMA when you sign up. It's a brand new offer. Best time possible to get on the app. So get on over there and get to winning that first lineup. So remember, Prize Picks, code HMA. Download the app today, and remember to always gamble responsibly. Now, nothing wrong with Brock Lampy. As near as I can tell, this is probably one of the better fullbacks you could have brought in at this point because he's got familiarity with a member of the coaching staff. And he was somebody that he was on people's radar. I'm not going to act like he's some future all pro, but this is a somewhat of a known commodity, even if he hasn't played in the NFL yet. Now, that's not really the interesting part here. And hopefully, this is just because we want a true fullback for training camp, because we want to be able to practice with a second fullback on the field just so we can get into the flow of what we want to do. But this piece of it cannot help but loom large, right? Robbie Ouzts. And we still don't have an injury update on Robbie Ouzts. But it's hard to not look at this and conclude anything other than it's not great. So, yeah, it's starting to feel like Ouzts might have a long-term injury here, something that's going to bug him for some time. And it's a neck, right? And necks, you can't mess around with your neck when you're a football player, right? Especially when you're a fullback. I would say no position can really mess around with a bad neck. Maybe a punter, but a fullback, no chance. Like this is something that can derail a career pretty easily. And I don't want to say that just to try to make this seem like a bigger deal than it ends up being. I understand that we don't know very much yet, but when they start talking about a neck injury and then it seems like it's lingering on and on and on and on for months, and you think about what a fullback has to do, it's hard to not start to mentally go to the worst possible place. And the fact that we're not getting any information about it yet, and I understand that McDonald is a pretty private guy, it's just starting to feel like they are preparing for something bad to happen. And I understand that we got Brady Russell, and he would probably be the fullback if Ouzts is actually going to miss time. But given the way you have 90 players on your team in training camp, you do need a second guy. So there is still some hope that this is just a temporary thing because of training camp. I'm starting to get a little bit of a bad feeling here. I'm starting to wonder if maybe this is not going to go away cleanly, if this is maybe something that Ouzts carries into the 2026 regular season. And that's not great because as much as he is just a fullback, this team has plans to use a fullback. They used a fullback last year, and I think they want to continue to do it this year. Okay, so that's really all I can say. So that's the bad news. By the way, Lance Mason was waived to make room for Brock Lampy. So some people were kind of excited about Lance Mason, but too crowded of a tight end room, I guess. Regardless, would really like an update on Ouzts so we can start knowing how to feel, because not knowing how to feel is leaving me in a situation where I kind of feel like I assume the worst. It's starting to feel bad. All right, see you guys later. Go Hawks. Have fun with the preseason game. See you guys soon.